And we've begun. Ngen, tell us about yourself.
Alright, well, I guess the best place to start is that I'm Canadian.
Yes.
It's a wonderful country. If you've never seen it, then you're kind of like me, because I'm mostly stuck up in my room and not looking outside, so...
Alright. Oh.
What else can I say about myself? I'm 21 years old.
Right.
I like the color blue.
You can tell from your
I enjoy
hat.
long walks on the beach, except we don't have many beaches, so I don't get to enjoy that very often.
I've heard it's very cold there, is that true?
I'm sorry?
I've heard it's very cold in Canada, is that true?
It's too true, I'd say.
So, does it rain a lot there?
I'm sorry?
Does it rain a lot there?
No, it snows more often than it rains.
Nah.
But that's only because we have about 8 winter months.
Alright. So a more snowy version instead of rainy version of Scotland.
Yeah, so I've heard.
Speaking of which, are you yourself a French or a British Canadian?
Oh, no, I'm not a French Canadian.
Right.
I'm actually from Alberta, which is the redneck province of Canada. It's pretty much Canada's Texas, if you would.
So everything's bigger there,
Actually, yes.
even the snowflakes.
We have too many gigantic things here.
Now, Ngen, as far as I'm aware, I am 6 hours ahead of you. So I am from basically the future. So
yeah, tell me how tomorrow is.
Well, Ngen, I am from the future, and it's fairly shite.
Well,
It's the same as the day before, but it's a Sunday. So the movie...
it's still Saturday there anyways.
Yeah, I know. I'm just making predictions about my future. If only we had another person who was 6 hours ahead of me.
I'm sorry?
I was saying if only we had another person who was 6 hours ahead of me, they'd be able to tell us.
Well, I could tell you about your past.
Are you the ghost of Christmas past?
I remember him being a really... Wasn't the ghost of Christmas past, like... Was it a woman or was it the really jolly guy? I can't remember.
The jolly guy was the present. The past was a flame on the Disney movie Jiminy Cricket.
Oh, I guess I'm that then.
Alright, so you just be my conscience then.
I suppose so. Don't do that. You'll regret it later.
I know, but I like the taste of it. It tastes nice.
No, you're gonna regret that.
Oh well. Thank you. I know you're looking out for the best of me.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So, Ngen, how did you get into YouTube?
Well, first I made an account.
Yes, that's how most people do it.
Then I started uploading.
No, why did you start uploading?
I think what really got me started in Let's Playing, I think it would have to be Chugga Conroy's videos. And although I don't watch him much anymore, back then I saw what he did with his videos and I thought, that looks really easy and fun. So I decided
Hey, that looks easy,
to
anyone could do it, I might try. That's your basic logic. So you saw that and went, that looks easy, anyone could do it, I'll give it a try.
Exactly.
Right.
Although it wasn't until a couple of years afterwards that I actually started doing it myself, and
Right.
yeah, and that's how I got into it. Is I saw somebody else doing it, and I thought it would be fun, and it is.
If there was one thing that you could change about your main series game, Monster Rancher 2, As in, like, if you could add in any monster, change any dynamic of it, what would you change?
That's a good question. I'm not too sure if I would change anything. I mean, oh, okay. No, I know exactly what I'd change. There's too many hidden variables in the game. Like, stress and fatigue are two things that affect your monster's health, but it's never mentioned aside from very vague descriptions when you select the drill. So if you could get actual numbers for that,
Aye,
then
but
that would be a nice dynamic.
it's the same with most games of the time. I mean, look at Pokemon. That had many hidden variables. Like hit percentages. It never told you what the hit percentage was.
Yeah.
And Digimon was the same.
In Monster Rancher, it gives you, in battles, it gives you hit percentages, and it gives you...
Aye, but there's always that hidden thing.
And how, if you can or cannot use a move. I feel like the battle sequence is actually really well done in Monster Rancher.
Yeah, it was good animation for the time as well.
Oh yeah, very. I mean, it was 1999. It was 1990. No, 1999. So yeah, it was very good.
It never got the recognition it deserved, though. Not in the wide scope of things. I mean, compared to Pokemon, Digimon and Monster Rancher are better. So were the shows.
I never really got into Digimon. So that's sort of off the table. And between Pokemon and Monster Rancher, it's sort of a I'm not too sure. I mean, Pokemon for me came first. I played Pokemon Blue when I was just knee-high to a grasshopper, and but then Monster Rancher 2, I feel, has more sentimental value for me because it was a game that I actually played with my older cousin, and I kind of looked up to him like an older brother. And yeah, it's the way that I value Pokemon and Monster Rancher. I can't really compare them. I am a little disappointed that Monster Rancher is not still going as strong as Pokemon, though.
Aye. I mean, even Digimon still releases new games. That, I mean, it's came out on the DS and that.
Yes.
Mind you, I have played
not too many Monster Rancher games anymore.
I have played a Monster Rancher game for the Game Boy Color, but it wasn't really good. It was side-scrolling. You played a human, and you collected disc chips, and if you collected enough to make a disc, you get to use a special ability.
That's weird.
Yes.
Never heard of the game before.
It was something like Monster Rancher Explorer.
Oh, okay.
It's the only one that I could find that they actually sell.
Yeah, I think the latest game is Monster Rancher Evo, and I haven't heard much about it, but I've heard that it has tough reviews so far, and it's not really getting the best criticism.
That's because no one really knows about Monster Rancher anymore.
Yeah, I suppose not. There's only a couple of videos on YouTube, and one lonely Let's Player doing a Let's Play of it.
That's not true. You're not lonely, you have all your fans.
Yeah, I think I'm sitting at about 710 subscribers at the moment, but I'm not.
Well, that's 705 more than me.
Sorry?
I said it's 705 more than me.
Ah, well. It's a rough start on YouTube, it really is.
Aye. I've heard that many a time.
When I first started, I think it took me about 3 or 4 months to even get 20 subscribers.
That long?
And that's it wasn't until I started posting Monster Rancher 2 episode or Let's Plays that my subscribers started to actually subscribe to me. So
You say it only started when you started posting Monster Rancher 2. What did you post before then?
let's see. I think it was only 2 Let's Plays I did before Monster Rancher 2. Although I might have started Monster Rancher 2 as my second one. I'm not too sure. But I did start with Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I also did the original Super Mario Bros. On the NES.
Mm-hmm.
And those 2 combined don't make up half of the views on my most viewed Monster Rancher video. So yeah, that kind of tells you just how much, I guess, demand there is for Monster Rancher 2.
Aye, it's a niche market.
The other 2.
It's a niche, and you're basically the only one who still uploads. Because I found others who do it, but they were doing Monster Rancher 1 and Monster Rancher 3.
So, I guess I've unlocked.
Are you still there? Engine. I'm sorry folks, there seems to be some technical difficulty. Please wait while we try and get Skype back. I may cut this part out of the video. Oh, we're back. I think. I lost you at unlock. We lost you at unlock.
I guess I've unlocked a hidden gold mine.
Alright. Did you unlock the mystery disc?
If I did, then it's Golden Suezo.
Now, we know that, well, I think that your least favourite monster is Araki, yeah?
Raki? Yeah, he's difficult to train, and quite frankly, he's absolutely terrifying. I would rather raise a Joker or a dragon, pretty much anything other than a Raki I would rather raise.
Folks, if you're listening to this off screen of the video, please turn back and rewind the video and you'll see Ngen making a funny comment through annotation on the video. And Ngen, we know that Raki's your least favourite. What is your most favourite monster?
Now, that is a very good question. I've always loved golems because they've been that really large and really slow kind of monster, and I don't know what it is about that, but I really enjoy it.
They're
Just
BFGs, big friendly giants.
The gentle giant kind of monster. I've always enjoyed that. But I also enjoy Zooms, and what was the other one? I guess I don't enjoy it as much as the Zooms and golems. Durhans.
Alright.
Durhans. I do like to raise Durhans.
Ngen, you can only make a monster by combining 2 monsters, yeah? Could you imagine if you could combine 3? Or more?
Well, yes and no. I mean, let's say you had 4 monsters all together.
Yep.
And you combined 2 pairs together, and then you take the third or the
No, I mean as in...
next monsters, and you combine them into a third monster, and that's actually a trick used by some ranchers to make the most powerful monsters.
I meant as in, like, you take a group of monsters and straight up combine them into one. As in, normally when you combine 2 monsters, you have a main breed and a sub-breed of the monster, right? I was thinking that you combine 3 monsters, you have a main and 2 subs.
interesting.
Yeah, because then you could have Golem, Dillahan, Zoom.
Would be pretty neat, to say the least, but
Be too
I'm not
complicated to
exactly
program.
sure how the mechanics would work around that. Simplify things first, and maybe just don't make it too complicated. As soon as things get complicated, then it gets confusing.
Alright. If you heard any creaking, that was my brother climbing out of the attic.
Ah, I didn't hear it myself, but
Alright.
see if it comes up in the recording.
Aye. So, if there's anything you could say to a budding Let's Player, what would it be?
Don't give up, and most importantly, just enjoy yourself. It's, for me, Let's Playing is a hobby, it's not a job. For some other Let's Players, it is a job, and but for every Let's Player, it should be a hobby. It shouldn't be something that you force yourself to do.
So not a chore then?
I'm sorry?
So not a chore?
Yes. As soon as it becomes boring and tedious, then you're not enjoying yourself, and it's not fun to watch somebody that is just forcing themselves to do something that they don't enjoy. Well, that's not true, but
I get your point.
Enjoying themselves.
I've seen people who are like, just F you, get out of my life, F off, and I didn't enjoy it because they didn't seem to be enjoying it. It's just...
Yes. Although there is, I watched this video called Hot Pepper Gaming, and they eat hot peppers and then do a review of a game. And it's quite entertaining to see them try to talk around their mouth burning. So that is something that they don't enjoy, that I do enjoy watching.
Yes, but that's them intentionally suffering. That's not people making them do it.
From their own mistakes.
It's no mistake if you intend to do it. Like if I intentionally hit my hand with a hammer, that's not a mistake. It's a stupid thing to do,
yeah,
but it's not a mistake.
You might regret it later and think of it as a mistake afterwards, but it was intentional.
So, as far as I'm aware, you live with your sister, yeah?
Yes, I do.
Do you also live with your parents?
No. The situation is, as soon as I was 18, I went to university in the city here. And we were raised on a farm. So my parents, rather than pay for residency at the university, they bought a house in the city, a small house, and my sister moved from residence at her university to the house, and I moved to the house. And overall, it's a much better investment than just paying the university to house us.
So, from my understanding is, you have your own family dorm?
My own family dorm?
Yes.
Not sure if you would call it that. It's actually a really small house. If my parents lived here as well, then it would be really crowded. So, it's just a small house with me and my sister, and for the most part, my sister's boyfriend lives here too.
Okay.
He has his own place.
Now, are you seeing anyone?
Me? No. At the moment.
If you were seeing...
I'm not saying, but I'm just a little too busy with work and talking to friends and playing games. I'm not too sure where I would fit in another person into my schedule.
Probably somewhere among friends.
Yeah, somewhere's in that range, I suppose.
Now, if you were to be dating someone, what type of person would you go for?
I guess guess it would have to be somebody like myself. I mean, I'm not going to be dating some sort of fashion diva, supermodel kind of girl. I'm thinking more like a gamer, kind of nerdy personality.
So basically a female you.
Well, I wouldn't date myself, although I think I may be a little narcissistic. But, yeah, I'm not too sure. When the right girl comes along, I'll know. And, I will try my best to make her my own. Although, that sounds too possessive. Anyways.
Engine. Other Monster Hunter, you've did several other Let's Plays, as you mentioned. There's one that you've dropped and have claimed that you're never going back to, which is Blue Nuzlocke. Would you care to elaborate on that?
I've said this before, it's been too long, and I can't, if I went back to it now, I wouldn't have the same
connection
attitude as I did back then.
Hmm.
I would basically, it would be like me starting another game that somebody else started, and that's how I feel about that. I can't go back to what I've left behind.
Mm-hmm. Now, you finished your side Let's Play of Kirby 64. What do you plan to do next as a side Let's Play? I remember you saying something about Deadpool.
At the moment, I don't have anything planned. I'm actually looking around my room, seeing if I could do a Let's Play of something, but no, like I've said, I don't have anything in mind for another Let's Play. If I do, I honestly can't think of anything I would do for another Let's Play at the moment.
Right. So, is there anything you want to ask me before we finish?
Ask you?
Yeah.
Well, let's see here. You're from Scotland, right?
Yep.
Now, you're still under British rule, right?
Somewhat, yes.
For the moment.
Currently,
I've heard
yeah.
that there's going to be a vote to see if you stay or have your own sort of independence from Britain.
Yes, but hopefully we just vote that we get more power in the UK than we currently have. Because if we split, then we're going to have to go into a thing where we ask England if we could still keep the British pound as our currency.
So I've heard that Sean Connery's opinion is that you should vote in favor of Scotland becoming more independent. However, David Bowie is against the voting. What do you think about it?
I think planet Earth is blue and there's nothing I can do.
Alright.
I'm going to vote that we get more power. But we don't split.
Okay.
Seems like the best thing to try.
Well, independence is, pure independence would be maybe a little too much of a shock. Maybe just sort of easing yourself by just gaining a little bit more power. Just taking it one step at a time might be a better option.
Baby steps before you can run.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Okay, well, I think, no, I'm out of questions for you.
Alright.
If you're out of questions for me, then...
Engine. You've told me where you work, but Remember, some people watching this may not have heard of you before. So where do you work?
My job. It's actually interesting that you asked me this because I'm over the summers I work at a golf course.
Mm-hmm.
And this recent winter I've been working for this guy who's been getting me contracts at different places of business. And my latest job, the contract just ended for that, but I was doing building maintenance in a building downtown. It was about 20 floors, and all I would really do is just the small stuff that the building operators couldn't take care of themselves because they were so busy. So that included fixing faucets and toilets, changing lights and sealing tiles. It was really just basic stuff that takes no education or skill at all.
Mm-hmm. By the way, do you still have a squeaky chair?
I'm sorry?
Do you still have a squeaky chair in your room?
Yes and no. It depends on how I move on it. If I adjust myself every now and then, it might make a loud sound.
Mm-hmm.
But if I actually got a chair for this Christmas because I asked for one, and the old chair that I got from the tire warehouse is gone. And good riddance, I'd say, because it was fabric and it was really old
and smelled of tires.
It didn't really match anything in my room. And
do you miss the smell of tires from it?
I'm sorry?
Do you miss the smell of tires from it?
The smell of tires from my chair. I can't say that I do miss it. I mean, at first it was interesting, you know, like the smell of fresh tires is sort of like the smell of gasoline or the smell of car exhaust, you know, like it's okay once in a while, but
as a constant,
completely immersed in the smell forever is just terrible.
Right, gasoline, for us in the UK, that is petrol, yeah?
Yes.
Right. Because I know that there's petrol and diesel.
Yep, gasoline is also another word for petrol.
Right.
I believe that petrol is just a shortened version of petroleum, so...
Yeah. Well, I think that's all for this time. Any final words?
I guess not. I suppose I should end with something that I usually say, so until next time, I will see you all then.
And so will I.